Hey, welcome back to the gathering. So glad that you are participating in these devotionals that all of the different churches are putting together. Again, my name is Jeff Summers, and I'm from Perimeter Church. Hope that you and your family are weathering this whole coronavirus crisis well. And so, just want to bring to you today's parable. And today we're talking about the parable of the two sons. And it's found in Matthew 21, verses 28 to 31. And the parable reads like this. What do you think? A man had two sons, and he went to the first and said, Son, go and work in the vineyard today. And he answered, I will not. But afterward he changed his mind, and he went. And then he went to the other son, and he said the same. And he answered, I go, sir. But he did not go. Which of the two did the will of his father? They said, the first. And Jesus said to them, Truly I say to you, the tax collectors and the prostitutes go into the kingdom of God before you. So let me give you a little context of this parable. So this is Holy Week, and reality, it's Holy Week right now, but it was also Holy Week when this was happening. Palm Sunday had just happened. Jesus had ridden into Jerusalem. And the gloves are kind of coming off between him and the Pharisees. He is arguing with them. He is going at them. And he's kind of revealing who he is to them truly. And they're revealing how much they hate and despise him at the same time. And so if you don't know what a Pharisee is a religious leader, someone who is outwardly religious, but inwardly they really don't know God. And so that's just a big church word that we use. If you've grown up in church, you're familiar with that. But think of a religious person who is only concerned about the rules and outward appearances, and that's what a Pharisee is. So we have the Pharisees going at it with Jesus, and they say, what authority do you have that you're doing these things that you're doing? You're healing, you're going into the temple, you're teaching, you're turning over tables. Jesus just cleansed the temple a few verses before. And they're saying, what authority do you have to do this? And so Jesus questions them, and he says, let me ask you a question. By what authority did John the Baptist baptize those in the wilderness? Was it from God or heaven, or was it from man? And they thought about it, and they said, if we say heaven, you're going to say, why didn't we follow him? And if we say from man, then we fear the people, because all the people think that he was a prophet. Well, Jesus knows their hearts, and so he tells this parable right on the tail end of that. And he's saying, you know what? All of those prostitutes and tax collectors, the worst of society, went out to John, and they're going to enter the kingdom before you. Because you see, the question he's saying is, you're just like a son who says he'll do the right thing and has no intention of doing it. But the prostitutes and those that are considered the worst of society look bad on the outside, but inside they're really truly repenting and turning to God. So what does this have to do with you? That's the real question, right? What does this parable have to do with me today? The first thing is this. I think it's amazing that we follow a God who is accessible. Anyone, the worst of society, the prostitutes, the tax collectors, those that are considered the worst of the worst sinners are getting into the kingdom. And we should take hope in that, right? If there's hope for them, then there's hope for me. But the second thing is, these religious leaders, what they call Pharisees, do you see yourself in that? Are you somebody who outwardly shows, oh yeah, I believe in God, I do these things, but inside, in your heart, you don't know if you really believe? So as you are sitting at home, thinking through, with the world turned upside down right now, this is a great time for you to do some soul searching deep inside and say, do I really believe? Do I really know God? And is he speaking to me in this parable? Right? Do I see myself in these religious leaders, or do I identify more with the sinner who comes to him and says, I have nothing to offer you, God, but my sin? So take some time, think about this, and spend some time praying for your friends and family members as well that right now you know are far from God, because this is a key pivotal time in history when they just might be open to the gospel. Thanks, and have a great week.